Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our May Day celebration here on Facebook Live. We're going to start off here with a song from Mr. Ed Green. Ed, take it away.
Come on, you good workers, good news I'll tell. How that good old union is coming here to dwell. Which side are you on? 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 They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair. Which side are you on? 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 Oh, workers, can you stand it? Tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be human? Which side are you on? 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 Don't scab for the bosses. Don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Standard of patient care. Please stay strong in this pandemic. Stay 134 strong.
Hi, I'm Marcy Pedraza, Union Electrician for UAW Local 551. Solidarity on this May Day 2020.
Happy May Day, brothers and sisters. This is Brian Sloan, Local 73, Sheet Metal Workers. Hoping everybody's doing well. Hang in there, we'll get through this.
I'm B. Lumpkin, Chicago Teachers Union retiree, also United Steelworkers SOAR. I'm blessed to have 86 years as a union member. Today, let's rejoice. It's a May Day holiday, International Workers' Day. On May Day, the working class shows its power around the world and unites for a better society for people above profit. During the agony of this pandemic, the whole world sees, as the Solidarity song says, without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. Let's use this power to come out of this pandemic with more rights, not less, with more justice, not less.
Thank you. That was Sister B. Lumpkin. And thank you, Sister B. Lumpkin, and our union brothers and sisters for those May Day greetings. And thank you to Brother Ed Green, Secretary with the Illinois Labor History Society, for starting us off with music. I'm Don Villar, Secretary Treasurer of the Chicago Federation of Labor. On behalf of CFL President Bob Reiter, the 300 local unions and affiliates that make up this CFL, and the more than 500,000 union members that they represent across Chicago and Cook County, union members, working men and women, welcome to the Chicago Federation of Labor's virtual May Day celebration. You know, COVID-19 may prevent us from holding our rally at the Haymarket statue in Des Plaines and near Randolph in the West Loop, something the labor movement has done for years to remember what happened here in 1886. While we are not physically together, we are all connected by the spirit of those workers who took a stand and sparked a movement that's now celebrated around the world. Larry Spivak with the Illinois Labor History Society is live at the Haymarket Martyrs Monument at Forest Home Cemetery with more on why we gather today.
When labor is no longer for sale, society will produce free men and women who will think free, act free, and be free. Those are the words of the mother, the widow, the sister of the entire world's labor movement, Lucy Parsons. In 1893, this monument, the Haymarket Martyrs Memorial, was presented. It was dedicated to workers around the world to honor the martyrs of Chicago. This monument represents that idea that we can all be free when our labor is no longer for sale. The tragedy that unfolded in 1886, on May 4th of 1886, when workers were attacked for simply exercising their right to free speech, to organize, to freely assemble. On that day, history was made. In 1889, when in France it was declared that International Labor Day, May Day, would be the holiday for all workers of the world, we began to celebrate it. And unfortunately, in Haymarket Square, where the monument currently is, there wasn't any evidence of that workers' struggle until 2004. The Illinois Labor History Society worked hard since 1969 until then to get a monument so that people around the world could come to the place to see where lives were sacrificed on behalf of all workers. And we began a tradition in 2005 of dedicating a plaque at the Haymarket Square Memorial in Chicago. And this year, we are honored to have the Canadian Labor Union, Unifor, who are going to be dedicating a plaque virtually this year and next year live. But I would like to recognize the Secretary Treasurer, Lena Payne of Unifor, the largest private sector union in Canada, to present a plaque to the Haymarket Monument in Haymarket Square.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, sisters, brothers, comrades, and solidarity to all of you from Unifor. It is really a great honor to be part of this event today, marking the very roots of May Day and highlighting the workers' struggles that we have continuing today. We had planned on being in Chicago today with all of you to celebrate our strong bond as well that we have in solidarity with our friends at the UE. At the time, we had big plans to mark May Day by organizing 10 days of action from Earth Day to May Day. We were approaching this work with the resolve that the climate crisis was the most pressing issue facing working people, and that there was an urgent need to design a response that took workers into account, that created good union jobs while greening our economy. Now we're facing a different kind of crisis as working people. The pandemic of COVID-19 has undoubtedly affected our unions, our members, and working people all over the globe. As a society, we now have the option of coming together as a collective to this realization that essential workers are not just essential in this crisis, they're essential all the time and should be valued as such, with proper wages and protections and with decent work. For the workers' movement, I believe this is a moment to magnify and amplify our fight for justice, for fairness, and for a better world. As our friends at the UE have been saying, we must not let this moment go without the fight of our lives. With this in mind, we've prepared this plaque that we had hoped, as I said, to unveil on the Haymarket Monument today. I'm going to read it to you. I think it's going to come up on the screen as well, so that you can see what it'll look like. The members of Unifor Canada recognize and share the struggle of workers in Chicago and the United States, and salute the Haymarket martyrs who at this place in 1886 made global labor history. Through our solidarity and our activism, we work together to continue their struggle for justice and progress for working people everywhere. Only through building our movement for worker solidarity and democracy can we as a society tackle the day's greatest challenges. And with that, tackling the day's greatest challenges, whether they're the climate crisis, a pandemic, or capitalism, I hope that we can all continue to work together like this and build solidarity across borders and all over the world, because we all know that when we fight, we can win. Solidarity and a strong workers' movement will get us there. Thank you so very much for including us in this event. Thank you for the invitation to contribute this plaque to the Haymarket Monument, which we hope and will be very happy and honored to do so as soon as we can. And lastly, to all of you, happy May Day.
Thank you for those words of solidarity, Sister Payne, and our brothers and sisters in Canada. You know, at the Haymarket statue, Unifor's plaque will join the 15 others now at the base, the foundation. So let's hear some more May Day messages from our brothers and sisters.
Hi, this is Dave Webster from IBEW Local 21. Happy International Workers' Day. Stay-at-home orders may have our actions limited for the moment, but everyone knows the labor movement will never rest. Solidarity.
My name is Corliss King. I am a flight attendant with Southwest Airlines and a proud member of the Transport Workers Union Local 556. On this May Day, I want us to make sure that we are acknowledging all of our essential workers, not just our police officers, our firefighters, our nurses, our doctors, but also those of us in aviation. We do not have the ability to stay and shelter at home. We have to go to work. We have to keep America flying. We aren't just taking your family members across the country or around the world. We are also carrying essential equipment, supplies. We are making sure that business is able to continue to be conducted, and that those essential workers that are traveling to help those of us in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis can get where they need to go and where they're needed the most. Those of us in aviation, particularly the flight attendants who are also first responders in the air, are often working with difficult conditions. We do not necessarily always have the proper protection for us, but we have to continue to come to work. So I hope that on this May Day, you recognize your brothers and sisters in the air, as well as your brothers and sisters on the ground, all of labor who are working to overcome this crisis.
My name is Will Jovel. I'm an operating engineer for Local 399, and today I wanted to send a shout out celebrating May Day, and I would like to thank all our union members out there for their hard work and dedication.
Grace Catania, Chicago News Guild, Local 34071. I would like to send my thanks to my sisters and brothers at the Chicago News Guild and the Communication Workers of America and working people everywhere. We will come out of this crisis stronger and more united than ever. Happy May Day.
Hey, my name is Jeff Hillary, one of the marketing reps for Local 73 with the sheet metal workers. I want to thank the American Labor Union for rallying in 1886, and also thank them for creating the 8-hour workday.
Hi, I'm Penny McCullough. Solidarity on May Day from Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 308.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Dave Sylvester, Local 73 sheet metal workers. Wishing everybody a happy virtual May Day. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe.
Thanks, David. Chicago is a hometown of the American labor movement. Labor history in this town was not made by mayors, governors, or presidents, but by working men and women who came together for each other. One place where workers came together and organized is the Union Stockyards, made infamous in Upton Sinclair's book, The Jungle. CTU sister Debbie Pope, ILHS Vice President, is at the Stockyard gates, and she's going to give us that part of our labor history.
Hello, brothers and sisters. It's great to be here with you. I'm at the Union Stockyards. Union, not as in workers' unions, but as in the coming together of powerful companies, which formed over 150 years ago after the Civil War. Trains and westward expansion led to a huge increase in cattle production, and Chicago became the railroad hub where the cattle and hogs arrived, were butchered, and then distributed. By 1900, over 80% of the meat on American tables came through the Chicago Stockyards, and about 25,000 workers were employed. They came from all over the world, spoke many languages, and were for the most part arranged in job categories by gender, race, and country of origin. In the early years, the elite workers were German and Irish. They were the force behind the powerful amalgamated meat cutters who led brave workers' struggles at the turn of the 20th century. As the Great Migration got underway, they were joined by African Americans who were assigned the toughest and dirtiest jobs like the killing floor. The Chicago Federation of Labor, who is co-sponsoring this event today, helped the formation of the Stockyards Labor Council, but the meat cutters struggled to be inclusive and represent the interests of these workers, and the race riots of 1919 and the almost all-white strike in 1921 led to the demise of unionism in the packing house for about a decade. However, in the early 1930s, the Packing House Workers Organizing Committee, including many militant African American workers, was a key part of the CIO organizing drive and led to the formation of the Packing House Workers Union, an explicitly anti-racist union which led many strikes in the stockyards and represented workers until the yards declined in the 60s and was shut in the 1970s. These courageous struggles are what we are here celebrating today. The men and women who gave their lives and dedicated themselves to producing the food that Americans have on their tables. And this is part of what we are celebrating today on May Day. Thank you so much, and solidarity forever.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Pope, for joining us at the Stockyard gates. Those gates pay homage to the labor of the men and women who worked there, whose brains and muscles made the wheels of the industry that ran Chicago turn. So here are some more May Day messages from our labor brothers and sisters who work each and every day.
This is Mihir Garud from the CTU Charter Division, and I want to say Happy May Day and the 1-year anniversary of our charter strike, Instituto Health Sciences Career Academy, Latino Youth High School, and Rudy Lozano Academy in Little Village, Pilsen. It's 1-year anniversary of May Day. We had to strike to get the things we needed for our classrooms, for our students, and for our members.
Hi, my name is Rashonda Williams. I'm a member of Unite Here, Local 1. I just want to commend all of you dedicated workers who go out and give your all day after day. Stay safe and union strong.
This is Kenzo Shibata. I am in the executive board of the Chicago Teachers Union, and I'm the president of Illinois Apollo, and I want to give a shout out to all of the essential workers working on May Day. We love you. We are thankful for all the work you do.
Hi, this is Carla from Day Gourmet. I'm sending my solidarity to all my workers on International Workers' Day. Sending my love and support. Be safe, and I love you all.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Jones of the Chicago Regional Council Carpenters Local 10. The Haymarket of 1886 gave birth to the 8-hour workday. It created a foundation that is unshakable and a platform that we can all be proud of, even to this day. To all our laborers and brothers and sisters on the front line, Union Strong.
My name is Magali Castro. I'm from Chicago, and I'm a carpenter apprentice. I'm from Local 1889. We are one and we are together. This is something we all can do. Solidarity together, solidarity forever.
My name is Moises Zavala. I'm with Local 881 of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union. And on this May Day, I want to recognize our members that are working extremely hard to serve our communities. Thank you very much.
Hi, Christina Bareilles here with Plumbers Local 130 in Chicago. Wishing you a happy May Day as we continue the fight for women's equality.
Hi, this is Justice Furtado from the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, SCIU Local 73, wishing a happy May Day and all power to the workers.
Stephanie Stachura, Local 134, apprentice electrician. May Day is a perfect time to remember that we might not be from the same local, and we might not even be from the same trade, but we are fingers in the same hand of the organized labor movement.
Bo Nielsen, Local 73. Stay safe out there.
I'm Maria Moreno, Financial Secretary of the Chicago Teachers Union. Workers have only made gains when they organized and fought like hell. May Day is our holiday, and we should be proud and celebrate. Happy May Day.
I'm Terrence Chi from the Illinois Nurses Association. Happy May Day from the INA. Thank you for all the essential workers and union members. Keep fighting for a safe and just workplace. Stay strong, and we'll get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. More than 125 years ago, on the city's far south side, workers who were fed up with the inequity and abuse at a factory town, they rose up and fought against one of the biggest industrialists of the era. Sister Sarah Joy Lyles, Chicago Pipe Fitters 597, Secretary of the Chicago Women in Trades, Trustee of the Illinois Labor History Society, Eugene V. Debs Foundation Board Member, and Pullman resident, is at the Pullman National Historic Monument with that history.
Greetings, fellow workers. Though the Pullman Monument encompasses several significant episodes in labor history, one stands out to me this May Day. The Pullman factory behind me is a reminder of remarkable worker solidarity during another Gilded Age recession. Less than a decade after the Haymarket affair, in June 1894, train engineers, locomotive firemen, switchmen, and many other railroad workers across the country refused to work on any train that included a Pullman car. These sympathy strikers had nothing personally to gain from the boycott, though they were also facing wage cuts and growing unemployment. The members of the American Railway Union, led by Eugene V. Debs, withheld their labor simply because they could not abide the oppression of their brothers and sisters who lived here and worked here in Pullman Town under abusive supervisors for decreasing wages while still paying unpaid rents and fees to their enormously wealthy employer. Sisters and brothers, We are in a moment now, tired of quarantine, fearful for the economy and our own finances, and weary of uncertainty, but still called upon to act in solidarity with frontline workers and vulnerable members of the community. Staying home is working to flatten the curve, but in the absence of reliable treatment or vaccine, we are not out of danger. We must stay strong and stay home. And like the ARU 126 years ago, we must not tolerate policies that put profits before people. We must demand life-saving PPE and mandatory job site infection control standards. We must call for robust assistance and relief for workers displaced in this pandemic. And when the time comes, we must rebuild in an inclusive way that puts workers at the center. In the words of Eugene Debs, solidarity is the last and only hope of labor. Solidarity forever. And here representing another great labor story embodied at the Pullman National Monument is David Peterson, director of the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum.
Hi, this is David Peterson, President and Executive Director of the National A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum, the only Black labor history museum in the world. We're thankful for the contributions of A. Philip Randolph, a man who fought for economic and social justice, especially on this day today as we celebrate the working class and those who fight so hard to keep labor alive. Everybody, I hope you're staying safe and at home, and we hope that you're continuing to keep your spirits up as we go through this hard time. We'll get through this, and we hope everybody enjoys the rest of this May Day. Peace and love.
Thank you, Brother Peterson at the Pullman Porter Museum. In the hometown of the American labor movement, workers are not afraid of fighting for social justice, better wages, hours, working conditions, dignity, and respect. One of the leaders in that fight is someone who kicks ass for the working class each and every day. That's SEIU Local 1 President Tom Balanoff. Brother Balanoff, thank you for joining our virtual May Day today.
Thank you for inviting, whoops, am I unmuted?
You're good.
Okay, thank you for asking me today, Don, and the Illinois Labor History Society. Happy May Day to everybody. Let me, first of all, I want to thank Sister Payne. It's more important now than ever that we have international solidarity between workers. And Sister, I always like to hear from somebody from the same part of North America. I also got to say that any day I see B. Lumpkin is a better day for me. B, God bless you. Keep up your struggle. Sisters and brothers, this is our day. This day connects us to our forefathers and foremothers. It connects us to our history. And brothers and sisters, we have a deep history of struggle for workers' rights and union rights here in Chicago. As many of the speakers have already very aptly described the importance of the Haymarket struggle, an 8-hour day. Actually, that struggle is what bore May Day. But we know in Chicago, as others have already told us, our history of struggle is very deep. Pullman strike, the Little Steel organizing and the Memorial Day massacre. You know, it's very interesting. An awful lot of the national unions in our country were formed right here in Chicago. There's more local ones in Chicago than any city in the country. And that is quite a history and of building not only our movement in Chicago, but helping build our movement throughout the country. This is the legacy of our those who came before us, a legacy of fighting and of winning and building a better world and organizing workers across all industries and understanding what our sister said, solidarity. Solidarity is what this is all about. Now we'll be moving, quite frankly, into a new reality. More than likely a reality that's going to be much more hostile to workers and to unions. So brothers and sisters, now more than ever, we need to embrace that legacy and understand our responsibility. Now more than ever, as we move forward, we need to embrace and lean in on our traditional trade union values. Unity, that's not just unity of our members, that's unity of all workers and solidarity. I know in Chicago, and I believe throughout this country and Sister Payne, throughout North America, the trade unionists and workers are ready to stand up and fight. Let's have each other's back. Let's understand a fight for one is a fight for all. God bless all of you and happy May Day.
Thank you, Brother Balanoff. And thank you for all you do for your members at Local 1 and for all working people across our city and state. During this pandemic, workers have paid the biggest price. People of color have paid the price. Struggling working families have paid the price. Workers make up many of the tens of thousands of people who have already succumbed to the disease. Workers, essential workers, they continue to go to work and put themselves in harm's way. The labor movement fights for them, fights for all of them. We fight to make sure they're safe when they work, that they can return safely home to their families at the end of the day. And for those out of work, we fight to make sure that the financial safety nets are there. And the entire Chicago labor movement, working in solidarity with United Way and our community partners, we've raised funds to make sure our sisters and brothers that fall through the cracks, they get a helping hand. We're also working, making sure that workers are heard as the government works to reopen the coming weeks, reopen the economy, and as we emerge from the darkness of this pandemic, we are going to be at the table. We're going to be at the tables speaking out for workers. And this pandemic has not stopped our fight for working families either. Illinois, some of the issues that we continue to tackle. Illinois needs a fair income tax. The flat tax is inequitable. We are fighting for a progressive tax so that the wealthy pay their fair share. We're also fighting to make sure that workers across the whole state get paid sick leave. Paid sick leave. That's become so much more vital during this pandemic. I want to highlight that since our last May Day, we also successfully fought to get Fair Work Week passed in the city of Chicago, and we raised the minimum wage. Those are important victories, especially for working families in our state. Before this pandemic hit, a third of households were either living in poverty or just one missed paycheck away from it. The statistics now, as we enter this phase, will be mind-boggling. It's also important to everyone. It's also important now for everyone to be counted in the U.S. Census. People of color, Black, brown, Asians, immigrants, and working people. Renters are undercounted. We need to make sure we are all counted. Our state, Illinois, is already slated to lose one congressional seat, one voice in Congress. We run the risk of losing a second seat if there's an undercount. We all need to be counted. So we need to tell our coworkers, our family members, our friends and neighbors to be counted, fill out that census. An undercount also means a loss of funding and jobs, and it puts all workers at risk. So be counted, fill out the census. Before we end our virtual May Day, we have a few more May Day messages, including one from my brother, CFL President Bob Ryder.
It's May 1st. It's May Day. It's International Worker Solidarity Day. Right here in the hometown of the American labor movement, where so many of these struggles were born, we know what it means to stand in solidarity. We know how important this day is and what it symbolizes. It symbolizes worker struggle, worker solidarity, people coming together to fight for a common goal. The blood, sweat, and tears of those who came before us will not be forgotten. Happy May Day.
Greetings from Chicago, the birthplace of May Day. My name is Julia Berkowitz, and I'm an IBW 134 electrician at Chicago Transit. This May Day, please support essential workers in our continued fight to secure safe and healthy working conditions and proper PPE. We may be essential, but we are not expendable.
Well, my name is Jaime Martinez with the Association of Flight Attendants. As an aviation first responder, my responsibility is to take care of those folks in the air, including those first responders who are traveling to help those individuals on the ground. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the Association of Flight Attendants. Thanks for all what you're doing.
I'm Stephen Mittens from ASME. On this May Day, in the midst of this pandemic, we salute our hard-working union brothers and sisters who give selflessly of themselves to ensure that our communities are cared for, serviced, and protected.
Hey everyone, this is Arturo Hurtado with Local 73 Sheet Metal Workers. Happy May Day, everybody, and stay safe out there.
Happy May Day from the Kugler family. Stay strong.
Greetings and solidarity to all workers on International Workers' Day from the DePaul University Labor Education Center. At our center, we challenge each other to consider what else must be done to promote a transformational labor movement. During this crisis, education, organizing, and solidarity across borders is more important than ever. Standing together, we can change the world and our communities. Happy May Day.
My name is Janelle White. I am the lead organizer and digital media coordinator for the Temp Worker Union Alliance Project with the Chicago Workers Collaborative. CWC commemorates May Day 2020. While the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly changed the landscape for how we organize, we are still seeing modern-day victories within the labor movement due to digital outreach efforts. We want to encourage everyone, whether near or far, to continue working together to uplift all workers, especially the rights of temp workers who are being greatly impacted during this pandemic.
Chicago gave birth to our nation's labor movement, and I hope that we will push our country to greater justice for rights of workers. Brown, Black, Irish, Polish, Asian American, and immigrants, we must protect our frontline workers, keeping our country running during this pandemic. Count on me as an ally in the struggle. Si se puede.
Thank you, Chuy Garcia, Congressman Chuy Garcia, and thank you to everyone for joining us at our virtual May Day celebration. And thank you to all our brothers and sisters who submitted shout outs and May Day wishes and May Day messages. So with that said, before we finish off with Solidarity Forever, we have one final message on this May Day. So everyone join me. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Workers of the world unite.
Thank you. All yours, Ed.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. When the union's inspiration to the workers' blood shall run, there can be no greater power beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Is there aught we hold in common with the greedy parasite who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might? Is there anything left but to organize and fight? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving meets the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Now solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. They have taken untold millions that they never told to earn, but without a brain and muscles, not a single wheel can turn. We can break through their haughty power, gain their freedom, then we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. A solidarity forever, a solidarity forever, a solidarity